Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Our today's topic is descent speed time equation. So let's start with that. Speed is defined as distance traveled by an object in unit time. The standard international unit of speed is meter per second. The other units that we use are kilometer per hour, centimeter per second, and meter per minute. Let's have a look at the formulae which we are going to apply in this exercise. As I said, speed is distance traveled in unit time. So the formula of speed is distance traveled over time taken. And from this equation, we can derive a formula for distance traveled. Distance traveled is equal to speed into time. In the same way, we can also extract the formula for time taken by an object in terms of distance traveled and speed. So time taken is equal to distance traveled divided by speed. So these are the three formulas which we are going to apply in this exercise. Before we move on to the word problems, let's have a look at how we convert from speed from kilometer per hour to meter per second and vice versa. So if we are asked to express a speed of 25 kilometer per hour in meter per second, now let's have a look how we will do that. As we know that in 1 kilometer there are 1000 meters and in 1 hour there are 3600 seconds. So in order to convert this 25 kilometer per hour into meter per second, we will multiply this number by 1000 and we will divide this by 3600. So if you simplify the whole thing, you will get 6.94 meter per second. Let's have a look at converse of it. What if we have to convert a speed from meter per second to kilometer per hour? We have to do converse of what we did in the previous slide. So for this one, we will multiply it by 3600, whereas we are going to divide this by 1000. So if you simplify the whole thing, you will get 1134 kilometer per hour. So this way, we have converted speed from meter per second to kilometer per hour. So you must remember that whenever you are going to convert from kilometer per hour to meter per second, which we did in the previous slide, you need to multiply it by 1000 and you have to divide it by 3600. Because in 1 kilometer there are 1000 meters and in 1 hour there are 3600 seconds. So in the same way, when we are going to do converse of it, which we did on this slide, you have to do converse of it, means you have to multiply it by 3600, whereas you have to divide it by 1000. So you need to remember this tip. Now let's have a look at this question. This question is from exercise 9D, page 227. A particle travels 24.6 kilometers in 30 minutes. We have to find the speed of the particle in kilometer per hour and also in meter per second. So first of all, I have extracted the data from the question. Distance traveled is 24.6 kilometer and the time taken by the object is 30 minutes. We need to convert this time into hour because we can either represent the speed in kilometer per hour or in meter per second. So either you convert kilometer into meter and the time into seconds, or otherwise you convert this time into hour and the speed is already in kilometer. So that's the reason I converted time into hour. So 30 minutes is equal to 1 by 2 hour. You need to divide it by 60. Now we have to recall the formula of speed. As earlier I said, speed is distance traveled over time taken. So I'm going to substitute the values of distance and time in this formula. Now 24.6 is to be divided by 1 by 2. Now convert division sign into multiplication sign and take upside down of the second this fraction 1 by 2. So in the next step, you will write 24.6 multiplied by 2, and when you multiply these two numbers, you will get 49.2 kilometer per hour. Now we have to convert this into meter per second. Now we have already done this in the very first question. From kilometer per hour to meter per second, we need to multiply 49.2 by 1000, as there are 1000 meters in 1 kilometer, and we need to divide it by 3600 because in 1 hour there are 3600 seconds. Now when you simplify the whole thing, you are going to get the answer as 13.67 meter per second. Now here's your classwork. You are supposed to complete these question number 1 as well, and also these questions from 9D, question number 2, question number 3 part A, and question number 4 part B. So that's your classwork. And that is all for the day. If you have any questions or if you need any clarifications, we have online session and you can ask your questions in that time. So best of luck and take care. Allah Hafiz.